Hello, I'm Simon from Ultimate Floor Care. One of the most frequent problems that Cobra operators can experience is a lack of tension on the abrasive belt. So today we're going to show you what causes that and how to remedy it. Okay, right, this is something I would advise everyone to try if they think they're experiencing a lack of tension on the abrasive belt. What you want to do is put the palm of your hand on the belt tensioner arm and push it down like that. Now, if it doesn't spring up as quickly as you can release your hand, it means that dust has got into the spindle and it's resisting the action of the spring to push the tensioner arm up and maintain a proper tension on the belt. So what we're going to do is first strip out the tension roller. You will need just 3 tools for this: 24mm spanner, 13mm spanner and a 5mm hex key. So the first thing to do is to slacken off this M16 nut here and remove, then you can return that to there. Remove the outer nut. You don't, at this point, you don't need to disturb the inner nut, and if the belt tracking was good before you started, then it's worth trying to leave it where it is and not disturb it. So we remove that one. Then you need to slacken this nut behind this hex screw. Just slacken it to the point where it's loose, and this is loose. Then continue to undo this a short way and get ready to catch the washer. If you don't, it will fall into the annals of the machine and then you'll be working out how to get it out again. Once that's off, you can remove the M16 nut completely. Out comes the roller. And then we need to look at getting the arm off. Now it's pivoted on this spindle here, and if you have it in the down position, work it and work it and work it. There'll come a point where this end of it will clear the chassis and it'll allow a lot more movement. Once it's there, you need to make sure that the drive belt tensioner is down. It should then slide off. There'll come a point when the spring is loose enough, and you need to take that off as well, like that. Okay, generally we wouldn't advocate the use of lubricants on this spindle because that's what attracts the dust and it creates a thick gloop which resists it even more. You can dress this very, very finely with a gauze mesh or something like that, something to clean off the tarnish. There will build up it looks like a tarnish, but it's actually dust impregnated with water or condensate from the atmosphere. So once you've got that, and it will freely move again, then you need to reassemble. The first thing you need to do is to get the spring back in position. This is a little tricky. But once it's there, then you can lever it down until this end of the arm will then pass into the cavity where the tension roller goes, and ease that back to that position. And from there it's simply the reverse of taking the roller out. As I'm sure Cameron's mentioned in a previous video, there is a slight slant machined onto one side of the end of this spindle that always points upwards. Obviously the hole here that the eye bolt travels through has to be either that way round or that way round. It can only be one of the two, and it is the one where this slant is at the top. That's always important. So first things to remember, this funny shaped washer goes back here. Second thing, it's so easy to forget to do, is put the M16 nut back. If you don't have that on there, and you leave it loose, but if you don't have it on there before you put the eye bolt back on, you can't do it afterwards. So then comes the job of locating that washer, getting that part way in, and then you can, if you want to, nip that nut and then back it off so it's just loose, no more than just loose. Hold it with the spanner and then continue to screw up the Allen screw. And the idea is for this eye bolt to be held as closely as possible but not tight, otherwise it won't allow the tensioner to swivel up and down. So I normally back it off half or a turn and then lock up that nut. Once that's done, you can put this nut back. So now comes the time to check the belt alignment to make sure that it's aligned. I've deliberately misaligned this belt so it's sitting outwards of the end of the drum, and I'll start it and show you that. Now if you come around this side, Cameron, I will explain that it's these two nuts that control the alignment of the belt, and specifically, as is often the case, if the belt is trying to travel off the end of the drum in that direction, what you want to do is to move this part of the belt tensioner roller further towards the back of the eye bolt. So I would go, say, 1 or 2 turns at a time in that direction. Nip this one up. If you think you've got it just about there, then close that side, try it again. Okay, now clearly it's gone a little bit too far the other way, so I'm going to back it off by a turn. So to correct for the belt being too far inwards, this nut wants to be undone, say half or a turn. I'm going to do that one up there. Close the door to avoid fingers getting trapped in the drive belt. And here we go again. Well, I'd say that's nearly there. I'm going to do one more iteration. Maybe half a turn. Perfect. The last thing not to forget is that once you've finished adjusting these two nuts, then it's time to tighten that M16 nut. You can't have it tight while you're adjusting these two, because the function of the nut is to hold the tension spindle in the same place. If you had this tight, then these wouldn't do it, you wouldn't move them. So once you're happy with it, and those two are tight against each other, nip that up and you're done.